Hello, my name is Jeff Tomlinson. I'm happy to be here with you. I wanted to do a little introduction video, context a few things, a few terms, a few reminders, and then you can follow along with some videos to follow. I'm 63 as of this video recording. I've been doing yoga for 40 years. I'm not that flexible. Never have been, and I'm actually really grateful that I found my way to a compassionate yoga practice, not power, sweaty handstand. That's not what we're here to do. So I'm going to give you some tools that I've used over the years that have been really helpful for me. I was born with stuff. I was turned out, and they turned my toes in. Well, back in the early 60s, just ended up hurting my knees. I had a thing called Osgood slaughter. My shins grew too fast. I had a hip replacement about 5 years ago. My left hip. I've always been pretty active and busy. So again, stuff. And I've used the tools of yoga to really help me get through physical yoga and just the breath and some other tools that are part of this for sure. One of the keys for me is core, and core is often misunderstood or in the context of core strength and ripped abs and whatever. I don't have those right now, maybe someday again. But I would say more that the tail doesn't wag the dog, meaning, I'm not so focused on the extremities and the periphery, if you will, as opposed to how do I maintain some stability in the center of my body? How can I breathe fully? And how that really supports the relaxation response. So I'm actually not stressing my body trying to do yoga. That's not really what that's about. My goal is to have you feel things in the muscles more than the joints themselves. The joints are going to have some sensation because sometimes they're detoxing, they're moving through some fluid exchange. That's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want a bunch of pressure in the joints, and we'll talk about that. I'll try to revisit that. We want sensation, but not pain. And pain is a bit of a moving target. That's why yoga is so special to each person. Where is their edge? Where is the place where there's sensation, even sometimes strong sensation, again, maybe in a muscle, but not pain, because once pain starts, then the body starts to contract. And I know some of you watching this are in chronic pain anyway, and that's relative here. Like, we want that to be, if you will, the background of something that we're going to use as a marker, so that we don't want to make that worse. We don't want to exacerbate that pain response. We want to find a place in the middle where we can work on an edge, we can be with some sensation, and maybe we progress in that way. That has been my experience, and I might speak to that more in the future. Also, being energized. So when we're done with a practice, that you feel energized. In yoga, we say prana or energy without being too woo-woo, but kind of that. For me, when I'm done practicing, I feel kind of a buzz a little bit through my body, when I've done it well. If I just overdid it, which, I've done that, I've learned that lesson, I'm kind of tired, and it's a different feeling. So hopefully you can find that for yourself. I like to say no breath, no yoga. So if there's no breath, that was the full breath right there. It takes about 6 to 12 seconds for a full breath, right? So we're gonna work on that, because I would say if you can't breathe fully, we're not practicing yoga. And yoga technically means, translated as union. So the union, the bringing together, is the body and the breath. And technically that means if I can breathe fully, the body is ready to do something I'm asking it to do, maybe something new. And that speaks to neuroplasticity or neural possibility, that I can create a new pattern in the body. And that's definitely what I want many of you to be doing. And a couple of the key, nomenclature for me, the words that you'll hear me say sometimes is replace the thinking mind with the breathing, feeling body. That means that when you're practicing, you're not thinking. Sometimes there's context and you need to learn something, maybe watch a video first sometimes. That can be helpful so that when you're in the practice, you're actually breathing and feeling rather than thinking. And that's tricky. Sometimes we try to mimic, or many people will do something on the outside they see as a reference, and they're not really present in their body and feeling and breathing when they're doing it. And that's really key to, again, neural possibilities. So we can create something new if we're breathing and feeling, not just thinking. So that'll be key. And again, I said earlier, it's different for everybody. Everybody's body is different. So, while I will be leading things and showing you things, each of you are going to have your own experience. And my job, if you will, is to help you find that. Where's that place that you can do the movements, find the edge, stay within your breath and your awareness, and not push beyond that. And there's gonna be a couple of times you will push beyond it. And sometimes that's a learning too. It's like, oh, I overdid that. Note to self, next time when I do these movements, I'll find that place. I do it for sure. So we're all human. Props, I have a little simple folding chair right now. That's awesome because it's pretty lightweight in case we get to a place where we're moving a chair around. I don't want a big heavy lounge chair, something you can work with, or a chair from your dining room table. That might work. I actually have a yoga tie here. I often use one of these when I'm doing a over and back with my arms over my head, or I'm doing a arm behind my head, stretching my elbow or forearm, shoulder, that kind of thing. So, but you can use a tie, just like a tie from the closet. If some gentleman in the household has one, or you get one, you can get a yoga tie for sure. I'm just all about not having to make, a bunch of purchases, and you have to wear the right yoga gear. Not going there. So there's that. Also a cushion, a pillow. This is just a big pillow from the other room. This can be good sometimes if, for some people sitting is challenging. So maybe on the cushion, maybe behind the back. Maybe there's different times that we, if we get to the place where some of you maybe are kneeling with one knee. That's pretty advanced in the video series I'm going to do here, but props are good. I still use them. I use them all the time. I actually have a yoga block too, a little foam block. We won't need that, but there's tools. And sometimes that's based on just my level of flexibility. I'm not that flexible. After 40 years of yoga, I'm still not that flexible, and I never will be. That's not something I'm trying to achieve. So, it's all relative to me, to my body, how I'm built, my genetics, etc. So the last part of the nomenclature I want you to learn is steady pose, full breath, and awareness. So if we can learn how to build a steady pose, a steady posture, where you're steady, you're not straining, you're not holding your breath, it's not too far. We can breathe, have full breath, and you're aware, you're self-aware, you're replacing a thinking mind with a breathing, feeling body. If I'm steady, I'm breathing fully, and I'm aware, I'm feeling what I'm noticing, where it's showing up, we've done our job. And then you can really superimpose that on a lot of other activities, movements, taking out the recycling, chores at your house, fun stuff that you do. We can use that to your advantage. And that's how we progress, actually. So let's do this. Again, once you've learned these tools, we'll build on that, hopefully. And yeah, I'm glad you're here.